Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're tuning in right now, I'm guessing it's because you're just tired. Tired of those same old shoulder-to-shoulder crowded European tourist traps, right? You're looking for that ultimate, multi-dimensional hidden gem. Well, you hit the jackpot, because today we are diving into the real Croatia. Set right along the sparkling Adriatic Coast, it's a country that holds all the culture, history, and breathtaking natural beauty of the classic European heavyweights. Yet it somehow remains remarkably overlooked by the mainstream. We're going to break down exactly what makes this country Europe's best-kept secret.
Now, check out this breakdown. It's actually amazing. 10%, a full 1/10 of Croatia's entire landmass is totally covered by its 8 national parks. To put that into perspective for a relatively small European nation, dedicating that massive of a footprint exclusively to environmental preservation is a huge commitment. It basically guarantees that wherever you go, you're going to stumble into these pristine, untouched landscapes.
And speaking of nature, get a load of this number. Over 1,200. That is the sheer volume of islands and little islets just floating off the Croatian coast. Seriously, over 1,200. It puts them right at the top of the list for European nations with the most islands. And the crazy part, as we'll see, each one of these islands acts as its own tiny, isolated bubble of unique culture and geography just waiting to be explored.
So, how are we going to tackle all this? Here is the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll look at the Adriatic's hidden gem as a whole. Then, living history on the coast. Third, waterfalls and natural wonders. Next up, exploring the Adriatic Islands. And finally, we'll wrap up with some mysterious geological marvels.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the Adriatic's hidden gem. Right off the bat, you should know Croatia consistently ranks in international indices as one of the absolute safest countries in Europe. Especially if you're a solo traveler, it is a dream. And if you're a beach person, you're in luck, because they boast one of the highest numbers of blue flag beaches in the world, which is basically an award guaranteeing top-tier cleanliness and safety in the water. But okay, let's talk about the really good stuff, the wine. Thanks to this crazy perfect mix of Mediterranean and continental climates, they've been making wine there for literally 2,000 years. They grow over 300 native grape varieties. So we're talking about white wine flavor profiles you straight up cannot find anywhere else on Earth.
Moving on to Section 2, living history on the coast.
Now, there's this incredible contrast between two of the most iconic spots on the coast. First, you've got Dubrovnik. You probably know it. It's the Pearl of the Adriatic. It's a bustling UNESCO site with these massive 2-kilometer defensive walls. And yeah, it was famously King's Landing in Game of Thrones. It's medieval fantasy brought to life. But if you kind of want to dodge the big crowds, check out Korčula. People call it Little Dubrovnik. It offers a much quieter and honestly more mysterious history. You can wander these winding, maze-like streets, catch an ancient Moresca sword dance, which is this wild performance about fighting off invaders, and even walk through what's rumored to be the actual birthplace of the legendary explorer Marco Polo.
If you want to really grasp how deep Croatian history goes, just look at the timeline of Pula. It's like a giant 3D history book. You can literally see thousands of years of human occupation stacked on top of a single city. It started out with strategic, prehistoric origins, right? Then the Romans came in and built this massive, wonderfully preserved amphitheater that's still standing. Fast forward, and the Ostrogoths and Venetians rebuilt the city. Then you have the undeniable physical marks left by Allied forces in World War II. And today, those same ancient Roman ruins are actually hosting modern music festivals. You are literally walking through time.
And Pula is just scratching the surface. The architectural variety right on the water is mind-blowing. Take Split. It's a whole city built directly into and around the massive Roman palace of Diocletian from the year 300 AD. Then there's Trogir, which is basically an open-air museum on a tiny island, perfectly blending Greek, Roman, and Venetian styles. Speaking of Venice, if you want romance, head to Rovinj. It spent 500 years under Venetian rule, so it has this incredibly romantic Italian vibe with colorful streets and, oh my gosh, amazing seafood. Finally, you can't miss Stone. It has a 14th century 5-kilometer defensive wall originally built to protect ancient salt pans. It literally looks like a mini Great Wall of China, just sitting there in Europe.
Okay, let's shift gears to Section 3, waterfalls and natural wonders.
So, when you visit the world-famous Plitvice Lakes National Park, you'll be greeted by 16 distinct lakes that look exactly like a giant cascading water staircase. And you might be wondering, how does that even happen naturally? Well, it's all thanks to this special rock called travertine. Over centuries, this rock actually dissolved and then reformed, naturally building these dams. Those dams filled up, creating that iconic stepped look with the most brilliant blue and green water, all linked together by these trickling waterfalls. It's like nature playing architect. And the inland parks here offer totally different vibes. Let's compare Krka and Mled. Krka National Park is loud, it's dynamic, you've got these roaring multi-layered waterfalls, and if you hop on a boat, you'll discover a 1400s Franciscan monastery just chilling peacefully on a tiny island called Visevac. But then, in total contrast, you have Mled National Park. It's actually located on an island itself, and it is all about total serenity. It's filled with thick, untouched forests and these totally unique saltwater lakes where you can kayak, swim, and explore underwater caves in absolute peace.
All right, up next, Section 4, Exploring the Adriatic Islands.
We mentioned those 1,200 islands earlier, and seriously, they all have wildly different personalities. So, which one is your vibe? If you're looking for luxury, you've got to go to Hvar. They call it the St. Tropez of Croatia. You party at night and then explore the ancient Greek Starry Grad Plain by day. Or maybe you want something completely out there. Pag Island has this stark, almost alien moon-like landscape shaped by the wind, but ironically, it's famous for two very different things: wild beach parties and delicate traditional lace-making. Go figure. For the romantics, there's Gelesnak, the island of love, which is literally shaped like a perfect heart. And if you're the active type, Brock is your spot. It's sunny, it's sporty, and it's home to Zlatni Rat, this incredible horn-shaped pebble beach that actually shifts and changes shape depending on the daily wind and tides.
But what if you want, well, a little bit of everything? Then look no further than Brzeżuny National Park. This single park is made up of 14 separate islands. It beautifully mashes up history and untouched nature. It actually used to be the summer home for a prominent leader, which is why, as you're hiking through these lush green hills, you'll just casually stumble upon ancient Roman villa ruins or a beautiful Byzantine church. You can step out of a historic ruin and immediately go snorkeling with incredibly rare underwater life. It's wild. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Mysterious Geological Marvels.
You have to see the sheer contrast of these two massive, naturally formed sinkholes, both sitting in the exact same town of Imotsi. First up, you have the Blue Lake. It's this bright blue sinkhole carved out over thousands of years, and it actually changes size dynamically depending on the season. Sometimes it disappears completely. But right nearby is the Red Lake. And this one, it's a bit intimidating, honestly. It's dark, mysterious, and plunges over 500 meters down. To put that into perspective, that is almost as deep as the CN Tower is tall. It gets its name from the blood-red iron-rich cliffs surrounding it, and it's so deep and extreme that it's still mostly unexplored by scientists to this day.
Next, we have the Cetina River Spring, which is known as the Eye of the Earth. Just imagine standing on the edge of this perfectly circular spring. You look down, and the crystal-clear water transitions through these vibrant, stunning shades of deep blues and greens. If you look at it from above, it looks exactly like a giant, colorful, watchful eye staring right back up at you from the crust of the planet. It is just a flawless visual representation of the Earth's natural power and harmony.
And the thing is, Croatian geography isn't just something you look at. It's something you experience with all your senses. Case in point, the city of Zadar. Here you can literally listen to music composed by the ocean. Zadar has this brilliant piece of coastal architecture called the sea organ. It's a network of pipes and whistles built straight into the coastal steps. So as the physical movement of the Adriatic waves naturally crashes and pushes water and air through those steps, it plays this haunting, beautiful, ever-changing melody. The planet is literally playing a song for you.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer, and a question I really want you to chew on before you book your next trip. Why stick to the crowded, typical European paths? Especially when there's a country seamlessly blending untouched Roman ruins, 1,200 stunning islands, cascading travertine waterfalls, and deep blue sinkholes, all just quietly waiting for you on the Adriatic. The real Croatia isn't just a destination, it is a multi-layered, explorable history book. I really hope this explainer has you itching to pack those bags and experience Europe's best-kept secret for yourself. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep exploring.